be, and welcome to the Circle of Heka. I'm Lady Amaris. Now this video is in response to the video done by RandomWitch, which is called Be the Witchy Change. And if you're interested in that video, I've linked it in the down bar. And that video is basically about a response to some comments that do the rounds a lot, I think, in YouTube and some of the forums and things, where you have many people making fun of new witches, making fun of people who are new to YouTube and calling them fluffy bunnies. Fluffy bunny is a term that I've heard quite a lot in my time, and when I started with a coven, I was termed as a fluffy bunny myself, even though I had been studying, doing witchcraft by myself for quite a while, because I was new to the, let's say, the community, the community of covens. I was seen as a new fluffy bunny, and but the thing is, there seems to be a stigma on being new, new to just anything in general. Everyone comes to the craft in their own unique way. No two ways are the same. There are many that are similar, but no person comes to the craft in exactly the same way. And what happens is that if you've been doing anything for quite a while, you start to look at the beginnings with almost rose-colored glasses. You start to almost reinvent your history, so to speak, sometimes, and especially if there's a group of you and there seems to be a little bit of witchy dick waving going on, and I'm more. I've been doing it for longer, and our family has been doing it for many generations, and all of that kind of stuff. Many people start to change their history a little bit, or they forget what it's like to be new. They forget that wonderment, that fear, that exhilaration. They forget that sometimes when you're new to anything or to the path, you don't have a lot of focus and commitment, because there's so much to learn and so much to do, and you're over here and then you're over here and then you're over here, and you don't have that discipline that comes with experience and with age. And many people who have been doing it for a while look back on someone who is new and then go, oh, no commitment, no, they know nothing about the craft, they're just not to worry about them. And they forget that that's where they used to be. And many look down their noses a lot at people who are new, and I'm not too sure whether that's just the fact that they've been doing something for so long that they've forgotten, or ego is creeped in, and they're a little bit frightened of these new people coming in with different and fresh new ideas, and they see them as a threat, maybe. I'm not too sure, but in every walk of life you will find someone who doesn't like someone who's new that comes in, because the status quo is being ruffled, and and as a little way of boistering their own ego and putting themselves up on a rung that's a little bit higher. And the thing is, I think if these people have been doing a spiritual journey for so long, why is it that they don't seem to have gone that far? They don't seem to have learnt really anything along their journey, if they are now poo-pooing and putting down someone who is trying to put their feet on the first steps of the path. They, by rights, who should be trying to help and guide and steer people in a better way, and help them to learn to discern what is good information and what is not good information, not just put someone down and then walk away. That's not how you help people. You may give constructive criticism of, oh, maybe you should think about doing it this way, or look, I do it this way. Have you tried, X, Y, and Z? You don't just put someone down, leave them feeling bad, and then walk away. That's not how anyone learns. So the reason that I started this YouTube channel was basically to facilitate the ongoing lessons that I do within my coven and to some of the wider community, some of the workshops, some of the outer court lessons. And I've talked about that in some of my first videos. So this is almost a supplement that I use for that. If I'm discussing something, then I'll try and make a video of it, which means that some of my videos are take a little while for me to actually upload. I've got heaps of videos at the moment that I have in my camera which I haven't actually put up onto YouTube, so please bear with me, they are coming, but it just takes a lot of time, and that's one of the things that a lot of people seem to forget, that putting up a YouTube video takes some time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of guts, and so having these videos is just to help facilitate that side of the coven. But also I felt that there are many people out there that just don't know where to go and don't know what's good information and what's bad information. So this is my take on, well, this is how we do it as a coven. And I'm not saying that our information is the buck stops here and this is the final word on everything, but it means that you have an established coven that has done many successful workings over many years, and this is how we do certain things. They're proven, it's a system, and it's maybe a good place to start. It doesn't mean that you have to be here for forever, but it's a good place to start if you want to learn about certain information without having to kind of trawl through lots of stuff and try and pick out the little pearls. I'm trying to distill those pearls into one giant pearl, I suppose. Many people live, like I thought about it for Australia, many people live in very remote areas, and unless you live in the city, the likelihood of you finding someone that you can do any kind of workings with or bounce ideas off of, or even just listen to someone who's talking about witchy stuff, it's very hard. So YouTube in itself is a wealth of information for people, and a lifeline a lot of the times for those types of people. So I wanted to help to contribute to that lifeline. But also it's fun. I love making YouTube videos. It was really scary at first, and the first times that I've done it, even now, I find that I ramble a lot, and as soon as the camera comes on, my brain goes blank, and I'm trying to pull all that information that I knew 2 seconds ago, and I could spout fluently. See, there you go. But I get that deer in the headlights kind of thing. But I'm getting better, and hopefully you can see that with my videos. I'm getting more and more comfortable with talking to a camera, and less that idea that I'm just shouting into the wind and talking to myself. So that comes with time. Some people are really good, and I'm in awe on some people that I watch their videos, how relaxed they are in front of the camera, and hopefully that will come in time, and you will start to pick out the actual what's really me, and what's the scared hope that I don't make a complete fool of myself person that you usually see on the screen. So it's scary and it's fun. That's why I enjoy doing the videos. I like putting those little bits and pieces in, the little graphics and the little more explanation, and playing with the music, and cutting it up and all of that sort of thing. So I'm not a lot. Clearly I can't speak. I know lots of people go, oh, well, I don't edit my videos and I'm raw and I'm real. Well, I'm raw and I'm real, but I just want to edit out all those times that I'm staring into space, or I'm just saying while I'm trying to collect my thoughts. No one wants to listen to that. So I'm sure as I go, there'll be less and less cuts between things and more, quote, realness that you will find. But it comes with being comfortable in front of the camera, and that realness will come out. So don't be too worried if you're deciding to start on doing a YouTube channel. Don't be too worried that you might have to cut bits and pieces if you need to. There's lots of software out there that is easy to access and it's quite free. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I use iMovie on my Mac, so that came with the computer. So, but I'm sure that there's similar things out there for PCs as well. It's just a matter of looking around. But you don't have to do these amazing kind of videos when you're starting out. You just get started. Witchcraft is a living, growing system. Okay, so Wicca is kind of the religion of witchcraft, and that again is living and growing and has changed remarkably from where it was 20 years ago to where it is now, and it will change again in the next 20 years and so on and so on. Because it's living and growing and changing, it needs to adapt to the way that things are done now. So yeah, back in the day, it was a closed coven. You needed to know who was, you need to know someone who knew someone who knew someone before you could be part of a coven. It was word of mouth, or you just happened to stumble, be walking down the right street at the right time, all of those sorts of things. Now it's a little bit more open, a little bit more access. They're still kind of closed. There's still that vetting system, but the information is a little bit more accessible nowadays. And that has come because of the internet, because of YouTube, because of technology. Now, if we, there's nothing wrong, don't get me wrong about just disbanding the old ways, but when it comes to changing and growing, you need to modify certain aspects of what you do and how you teach and how you communicate with people, and have more of a presence with technology. Starting to incorporate that maybe into their practice, whether it is if they're teaching, putting some videos up, or have some kind of electronic way of teaching. So it's just embracing that, and I realise that that's how many people are getting their information. So if you want to try and get people to have some better information, less what we can say, less fantasy, more fact, then people need to be out there. There's no point in poo-pooing all of this sort of stuff and going, oh, well, it's not traditional, because then you are just going to be left in the dust, and your tradition will die, and no one will know that you even existed. So it's about trying to keep those old parts and adapt them and bring them into how people are interacting in a new way. So one of the other things that I was a bit apprehensive of when I started was the idea of revealing oath-bound secrets. You're part of a coven and you are going to be telling everyone, our secrets, how dare you? And I'm glad that I haven't really got that. Well, I haven't actually heard it said to my face, but the thing is, I haven't given you any secrets of the coven that I have been told, and I haven't given you anything that you could probably find on the internet already. The reason that I was a little bit apprehensive was because maybe some backlash to that, but I haven't really gotten a lot, and that could be because my channel isn't as popular as some other channels. It hasn't been going on for as long, and I haven't attracted the trolls, as they say, which doesn't mean that I haven't had a few people that have said certain things, and I just find it really hilarious. Some of the comments, it's like, really? What planet are you on? But to date, I haven't had anyone that's been abusive and horrible to me. It's just, just the odd, you don't know what you're talking about, which is weird. So when it comes to comments, it's always good to remember that it's really easy to make a horrible comment to someone behind the safety of a computer screen, and many people wouldn't say any of that, to your face. So just think that basically they're cowards if that's how they work. So don't be too worried about comments that come up, and you've always got the delete button, you've always got the block button, so I wouldn't be too worried. Don't engage. That's pretty much my takeaway from that one. So if you're thinking about sharing videos on your journey within the craft, I highly recommend it. YouTube, to me, is a melting pot of ideas. It is a way of sharing things and experiences and the way things are done. So experiences being that if you're sharing an experience about something and someone goes, oh, I had exactly the same experience. Also, validation that was real, let's say, as opposed to that I'm just having a lender myself and I'm living in a fantasy world. So explore and share your experiences. Also, watching different people do things on YouTube gives you a little bit of, it's like watching a cooking show. You watch cooking shows because it gives you ideas about different recipes and different ways of doing things. So watching people do different spells and different techniques on YouTube is same as like watching a cooking show. It's kind of like, oh, I never thought about doing that. Or, hey, I might try that recipe and see how I go. So everyone's going to give a little bit to the broth. And done in the right way, it'll be this amazing, what do they call it, a gumbo. Isn't it a gumbo where everything's put in? I think that's right. But it'll be this amazing YouTube gumbo where all of these amazing ideas come in this big melting pot, and you have this amazing meal. But if people are censoring what they're doing, or people are having other people poo-pooing what they're doing, then you don't have that amazing meal. You just have this bland white bread and plastic cheese combo, and that it just means that witchcraft or YouTube community or the future of witchcraft is lessened, is lacking, becomes generic and bland, and the magic is sucked out of it. So put up your videos, and if you have been in the community for a while, and if you're looking at some of these new videos, even if you're looking at some of my videos and you like something, say something, put a thumbs up on something, put a little bit of encouragement, because it takes a lot of guts to put a video up. I love watching some new people who are new to the craft, not necessarily, just because you're new to YouTube doesn't mean that you're new to the craft either. So there is that popular misconception. But people that have only been practicing for a year or a couple of years, and they've got that wonderment and excitement that you had when you started. If you've been practicing for years, you see that excitement that you once had, and it reinvigorates you and reignites some of those passions, because that kind of wanes, and you have that passion again, and then it wanes, and like I said, you forget how it was when you first started. So just having that reignite, just having that passion reignited is great, and you just watching how magical it is in someone else's eyes is good to see as well. Now in Australia we have what's known as tall poppy syndrome, and I see it also happening in the YouTube community. Yeah, a poppy is, I'm sure you know what a poppy is. A poppy is a flower. So you have, most of the poppies, and then all of a sudden you have this one poppy that rises above the rest. Okay, so there is that idea that all these guys here have got to cut this poppy down to size and take them down a few pegs so that they're like everyone else again, because they've kind of raised above their status. And so the tall poppy thing is that if you have anyone that starts getting popular or rising above the perceived station of everyone else, people start to grumble and people start to get fearful and people start to pick and try and take you down a peg because they've got this idea that you're full of yourself, or how dare you, what do you think, you got airs and graces, where you have that idea and fear that everyone has to be the same. You can't have anything that's different because different is scary. So chop them down a peg. And it comes again in YouTube. A lot of the times you've got people who are out there, everyone else is there, and then you have this one person who comes up from YouTube and has their YouTube videos, and people are watching them and they go, oh, and a little bit of jealousy comes out, or what do you think you are? You think you're all that in a bag of chips, and they start trying to cut them down a peg so that everyone is exactly the same. And then again you have that blandness that comes in. You don't have that difference of opinions, that difference of looks, a difference of feels. You have everyone exactly the same, and it's bland and it's boring, and the magic again is sucked out. So tall poppy syndrome I see coming out in people. So again, if you're putting videos out, don't be too worried about those people, because again, it just means that they may be a bit jealous, they may be a bit afraid, they may just, you are challenging some of their beliefs, whatever it is that's in your video. Take the constructive criticism, but don't take the stuff that's just there to make you feel bad about yourself and pull you down a couple of pegs because they're worried about them feeling, they feel bad about themselves, so they want to make everyone else come down to their level. Don't worry about that. Block, delete, whatever you need to do, just move on. Don't let it sway you. So last bit of takeaway. If you're doing a video, if you want to start up a YouTube channel, I highly recommend it. Do it, have fun, share your ideas, and if you have been looking at the different YouTube channels and you see people who are new, even myself, like, share, subscribe to me, but just pay it forward. You've had lots of maybe some good energy, some good love in the past. Pay it forward. Help people who are just new. Give them maybe some advice. Give them some encouragement. As I said, it takes a lot of guts to put some videos out, and just a little, thumbs up and you did really well. I liked how you did this, or I liked how you did that. Genuine comments. Just makes people feel really good. And also, if you're new and you don't have any comments on any of your videos, just having that one comment going, oh, someone saw it, someone liked my video, that it just helps. It helps people feel that they've contributed, and that's why we do lots of things on YouTube. We want to contribute, we want to be part of something. And so if you want to feel part of something, you want to do something, then contribute. Put your ideas out there. There may be something that you have that no one else does, and then you put it on there and it's like, oh my God, never thought about doing it that way. Awesome idea. And if you don't, then that idea is lost. That idea just stays with you. And knowledge and growth in respects to witchcraft and the occult needs to be shared. There is no, there is no value in you learning all of this stuff and keeping it to yourself. Witchcraft needs to, it's that pay it forward. You learn all this stuff, and then you, from your experiences and from your learning, you pay it forward and you help others, you impart some of your knowledge. you know, some of the things that you have learnt through experience and through time. With that positive connection, then it means that more and more people become more empowered and more boistered and more confident and better human beings just from the fact that they were around you. And anyway, I hope this helps. Have a look at some new videos. Like I said, I've only been doing it for a year, so I'm kind of still new. But yeah, just like, subscribe, comment. You know, I do like to have, you know, different comments. I do like to have people saying, well, I tried that and that was great, or I've done this way, or whatever. So do, you know, put some comments down below, and yeah, merry meet, merry part, merry meet again. Blessed be.
If you like this video and want to see more, please click on the links provided. If you think this witchcraft thing may be for you, please subscribe. Blessed be.